All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting, a business model for a platform called the Open Digital University. The founder has this really radical idea about what a job even means, especially now with AI everywhere.
So he kicks things off with this quote that's designed to just stop you in your tracks. He says that the whole question, will AI take my job, is totally illogical. Why? Because he argues it was never your job to begin with. Now that is a bold statement, right? What on earth does he mean by that?
Okay, so what does he mean by it's not your job? Well, this brings us right to the core of his whole argument, something he calls the ownership problem. In this chart here, it lays it out perfectly. Think about a traditional job. Who owns it? The employer. They own the office, the computer, even the special ways you do things, the trade secrets. They can literally just get rid of that job whenever they want. But the alternative he's proposing, well, it's the complete opposite. It's a job that belongs to you. You use your own laptop, your skills are your property, and you own the job itself for life.
So this really gets to the core idea, the big mindset shift he's pushing for. The whole point is to stop looking for a job that someone else owns and start building one. Build an asset that you, and only you, actually control.
Okay, so if you're not getting a typical job, does that mean you have to go out and start a whole business from the ground up? I mean, that sounds terrifying, right? Well, he argues there's actually a third way to do this. You join an existing ecosystem.
And his take on starting your own business is pretty intense. He says launching a business is like starting a war. I mean, seriously, you're basically one person going up against massive, established companies with all the money, all the people, all the advantages. The odds? They are just stacked against you.
And to prove his point, he shares this pretty wild personal story. He says he knows about 500 people, 500 friends, who started their own businesses. And out of all of them, only 3 became multimillionaires. 3 out of 500. That's a success rate of less than 1%. It just goes to show you how tough that road really is. So what's the alternative to going to war? He calls it the director job. And the idea is really cool. You don't do the grunt work yourself. Instead, your job is to direct AI agents, like ChatGPT or Claude, to do the tasks for you. You become the supervisor, the boss, not the worker. You're using AI as your team instead of letting it replace you. Okay, a director job sounds great, but how does something like that even exist? How does it make money? Well, that's where we get into the engine that drives this whole thing. He calls it the infinite business model. Let's break down how it's supposed to work. The foundation for this entire model comes from this super simple, classic idea from the legendary management thinker Peter Drucker. He basically said a business only does 2 things, innovation and marketing. Everything else is just a cost.
So how does the Open Digital University apply this? It's actually pretty clever. On the innovation side, you have an infinite supply of video courses, a library that just keeps growing and growing as more experts join. And on the marketing side, you have the potential for infinite students, because the more courses there are, the more valuable the platform becomes.
And the way students get in is super simple. It's a flat $50 a month. That's it. For that subscription, you get access to everything, the whole library of courses, all the new stuff that gets added, kind of like Netflix, And of course, you can cancel whenever you want.
All right, so the business model makes sense. You've got content and you've got subscribers. But how does that actually create these jobs we've been talking about, the ones you can own? Let's get into the specifics of the opportunities inside this university.
So the easiest way to get started is what he calls the affiliate role. Now, what's interesting here is that your job isn't to be some pushy salesperson. Not at all. The university actually gives you these professionally made ebooks for free, and your job is just to give them away. That's it. You share them on social media, through email, whatever, and when someone reads one, clicks a link inside, and decides to sign up, that's when you get paid. And we're not talking about a one-time payment here. For every single person who subscribes because of you, you earn $20 every single month for as long as they stay a member. So it's this recurring income stream that you build just by sharing valuable stuff, not by hounding people to buy. But being an affiliate, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The whole ecosystem is built to create a bunch of different jobs that you can own. I mean, think about it. You've got the experts who need to create the courses. They might need help from video editors to make their stuff look good, or writers to help them script it out. And there's even a role for resellers who can buy the ebooks with special rights and then sell them on their own, keeping all the profit. It's a whole network. And this is really the brilliant part. The flywheel that makes the whole thing spin. You see how it works? More courses mean more value for students. More value attracts more students. And more students? Well, that creates a bigger need for more affiliates, more course creators, more editors. Everything feeds everything else in this beautiful, self-reinforcing loop.
So when you look at the whole thing, it's a really compelling vision, right? A way to actually own your career in this crazy age of AI. But it does leave us with a pretty big question to think about. Is this really the future of work? Or is it just a really, really smart new spin on digital marketing? And honestly, the answer to that question could tell us a lot about where our careers are headed.